Move more, eat less. That's my plan these days. That and trying to make healthy choices when it comes to food. So, unfortunately, that pretty much rules out the greatest midnight snack there is, cereal. I mean, I guess you could eat a healthy cereal right before bed, but who has a hankering for bran in the middle of the night? Not me. Well, healthy cereal no longer has to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff, and it's an amazing midnight snack right before bed. Listen to this. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 net grams of carbs, and 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. You can build your very own custom bundle with flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. Any of these sound familiar? They sure taste familiar. Go to magicspoon.com/nodunks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode.
Big Mac truck, right in this little garage. Make it clean, make me scream. I don't public, make a scene. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me, quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me. I tell them what a pretty, never tell them where I'm about to be. I'll run down.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, December 23rd, and this is the Drop Podcast. I'm JD Skeets, alongside me, as always, Taz Mellis.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody.
You're looking good in the old, ugly Christmas sweater.
Thank you. I'll be wearing this for a week. This Raptor sweater feels so nice.
I like it. Pops on camera here, too. Joining us live from Toronto, it is the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Leigh Ellis.
Friends, eh?
It's really sticking with that A, aren't you?
I have to, man. I'm out and about in Canada. I've got to, lean into the accent.
Oh, man.
And last but not least, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
How's it going, eh?
There he is.
Actually wearing Canada stuff. And I, too, will be going to Canada tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, great.
I'll meet you there, Leigh. I'll meet
Okay, you want to
there.
stay at my place?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. Please take a second to subscribe if you haven't, to like the video, comment away, share the show. That helps us out. Go grab your No Dunks merch, like this one, over at nodunks.com. I think you can still buy the Trey Kirby
Oh, yeah.
Ho 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 Dunks.
I think so.
Yeah. This is an underrated item in the No Dunk store, if we're being honest,
100%.
Especially around the holiday season. So go to nodunks.com for that. Better yet, why not score the perfect last minute gift by getting someone that you love, only someone that you love, subscription to The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks so they know that we sent you. I think there's like a 50% off deal here at the end of the year, a Christmas deal.
$24 for 12 months, I've heard,
Well, there
for
you
the
go.
last week there after Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So go grab that if you haven't. Keep sending in your questions, NBA questions, non-NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. You can email them in. You can tweet them in at nodunks_inc. We'll be hitting the beach at some point, I bet, next week. Yes, that's right. It's our final show of the week this week. No show on Friday. That's why we're doing the drop today. But next week, show on Monday and show on Thursday. So the 27th and the 30th, if I have that right.
Correct.
JD, you're off, like you just said. You'll be in Canada, kicking it with Leigh.
Not with
Tobogganing.
Leigh. Not with Leigh. No offense, Leigh, but I think Leigh and I will be in opposite ends of the country. Is that right?
Where are you going, Leigh?
Yeah, we're heading to Calgary today. And if you want to really see me suffer, check out the weather forecast for the next 6 days in Calgary. It does not get higher or lower. I'm not sure which way you're going this one, but it's minus 23 like every single day while we're out there. And that's before you factor into the wind chill. So it's going to be nice and fresh and crisp out there.
Minus
So,
23 degrees Celsius.
That's right, Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let's
I
call
don't
it
know what
let's
that
call
is.
it minus 30 with the wind chill, like you said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to really test out. Just I said, my boys, they complain there's not enough snow in Atlanta. I said, you want some snow? Oh, you'll get some snow and some cold and some frigid air out here, boys. So hopefully they enjoy it.
Okay. Is this like the weird equivalent of like making your teenage kids smoke a pack of cigarettes? Like, oh, you want a cigarette? Here, smoke them all. And we'll see if you like it. All right. Well,
exactly.
Have fun in Calgary there, Leigh. So yeah, this is our final show of the week. So I thought, why not, pound some eggnog, throw a fire. Throw a log on the fire. Throw a fire like I'm a Super Mario brother. Just got the flower power. And we could ask some NBA Christmas questions here. Okay, so that's what we're doing. These are fun questions for everybody in the stream team, the pod squad, the Discord horde to chime in as well. You're going to get us started here, Tass. I want to know who's on your NBA naughty and nice list, but let's start with the naughty list. All right, who's Santa got at the top of that list?
LeBron James. And I'm not just gaslighting because it's a big name. LeBron has been naughty. If you make someone bleed, you are clearly naughty. And he banged Isaiah Stewart right in the face with that reverse karate chop. No matter what you call it, he turned. And if you're watching on YouTube, at the top of your screen here on the right, he turned with a fist, hit Isaiah Stewart. Now, he did apologize immediately, but Isaiah Stewart was obviously extremely mad because LeBron hit him as hard as he possibly could. And that wasn't just LeBron's first altercation this year. It was definitely the most blatant. Received a suspension for it, a warranted 1-game suspension for it. But if you remember, it seems like eons ago, he put his hands on Joel Embiid at the beginning of this season when Embiid went up for a dunk. Now, it doesn't seem as bad, but Embiid went down pretty hard on his back and was writhing around for a little bit. Luckily, he was healthy and continued to play. But LeBron definitely put his hands on him. He lost balance there. Anyways, that one clearly not as bad. So a couple naughties right there. And a third naughty this week. We saw it. He may have broke some bylaws when he came into the arena with a cigar in his hand. Was it lit? Who the heck knows?
We don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he would break the laws like that. But he came in, with a cigar in hand. And I actually wish he was naughtier in another instance. He was far too nice. Remember how Enes Kanter Freedom has been on LeBron about being a Nike spokesman.
Right.
And so LeBron met Enes Kanter in the back hallway of an arena. Apparently, Enes Kanter said nothing to him. I wish LeBron was a little naughtier to him in that instance. Tell Enes Kanter, they're playing you. They're using you for your agenda. Even though Enes Kanter's actual reason deep down, his motive might be right. I mean, he's getting played all over the place. So anyways, I wish LeBron was a little bit meaner in that instance. But LeBron, this is the meanest LeBron we've ever seen. It's not that mean, frankly. But yeah, he definitely meant to whack Isaiah Stewart as hard as he possibly could. He did that grunt face. If you look real close, like you put your lips together and you try and do something real strong. So he did that to Isaiah Stewart. Did he mean to get him right in the mouth? Or I'm sorry, right in the mouth, right in the eye. Maybe he meant the mouth because Isaiah Stewart definitely dipped a little bit lower. But yeah, LeBron's the naughty one on my naughty list.
Okay.
Sorry, LeBron.
Oh, that's all right.
He doesn't usually warrant it because he does a lot of other good things off the court. But I don't know. Santa might be thinking, not this year, my friend.
Not getting anything in the old stocking, is he? What about you, Leigh? Who's on your NBA naughty list?
Yeah, well, I'm going in a slightly different direction about a performance on the court. And it's tough to look at a guy who's averaging 20 and 10, basically, if you round up, and 5 assists and think that he's having a bad season or he's being a naughty player. But Julius Randle, I mean, he's not having a bad season. It's just last season the bar was raised so high by him. He just hasn't been able to get back to that level at all this season. It's almost like he's in some sort of breakout season sophomore slump because last season he was an all-star. He was most improved player. He was all-NBA second team. But he's not really anywhere near any of those accolades this season. Obviously, he can't win. Well, he could technically win most improved, but he won't win that.
Right.
But will he even be an all-star this year? I would say it's probably unlikely from what we've seen so far because he just hasn't been able to impact games like he did last season. And, combine that with the fact that the Knicks have struggled to match last season's efforts. Right now, they're 14 and 17. They've really struggled at home. Last season, the Knicks had the 4th best defense. They've dropped off there. They're 23rd so far at this point of the season right now. It's not all Randle's fault, of course. You don't just want to throw him under the bus. But I think what we have found out this season, and this really started in the playoffs, I think, last season against the Atlanta Hawks, I just don't think he's a number one guy. I think Julius Randle clearly, to me, is more suited as a number two option. The Scottie Pippen, if you like, which is, again, certainly not an insult. Scottie was the greatest number two of all time, probably. And I think that's just where Julius is probably better. He needs that other guy who can go out there and take, more of the sort of responsibility. Julius just hasn't been able to handle those expectations like we saw from him, this time last season when he burst out of the gates and he was great for the Knicks and they were winning games and he was looking pretty dominant. This season, again, 20-10. I mean, anyone would love a 20-10 average, but it just doesn't have anywhere near the same impact it had last season. He sort of struggled to hit those big shots and carry the team in moments where they really have needed him. So there's a lot of things going wrong there in New York. They're out now. They lose Derrick Rose here for 8 weeks with ankle surgery, which is not good for them. Kemba Walker clearly hasn't panned out. He's only playing right now because they're so desperate for players. And even Tom Thibodeau, this is something we talked about sort of when the Knicks hired him. He tends to have an impact on teams in that first season, a really strong impact, and then it starts to sort of lessen the impact in the seasons following that. And I think we're also seeing a little bit of that. So, the Knicks were a great story last year. They made the playoffs. They started off this season with the big bing-bong double overtime victory against the Celtics. But unfortunately, that was pretty much their high point of the season. It's kind of been downhill ever since then. And I think a lot of it has been the expectations and hope that Randle would replicate what he did last season or even get better, and that just hasn't been the case.
Yeah, it's got some Pascal Siakam vibes from making the All-NBA team and then coming back to earth a little bit. Yeah, Julius Randle has not been the same. He was phenomenal last year, but yeah, the numbers are still there, but it's not the same shot-making impact that he had last year.
At the top of my NBA naughty list is basically really 30 names, but I'm going to lump them into one. NBA GMs. And here's why.
Why?
They're not making trades. They're not giving the content that we need. Hook it into our veins. Come on. Yeah, they're not making deals here. And you look at some teams. I mean, not all 30 teams should be making a deal, but the Blazers and Pacers, we've talked about them ad nauseum. I mean, they're both 13 and 19. They need to shake it up. Is that moving a McCollum or Nurkic if you're the Blazers? Is it moving a Sabonis or a Turner or a LeVert if you're the Pacers? Like, okay, we've gone over and over and over it. They have to. But then you said the Knicks, Leigh. That's a sub 500 team here, 30 games in. The Hawks are also one of those teams. Could they use a little shakeup around the fringes, at least? A little injection of life into that roster. The Hornets desperately need a big. We've talked about that. They're about a 500 team. It feels like every team's almost a 500 team outside of like 6 teams in the league. The Mavs, another 500 type squad. They could use a shakeup. So come on, GMs. And maybe Daryl Morey is the culprit of all of this because he's sitting on Ben Simmons there and he's waiting. He wants a Lillard. He wants a Beal. He wants something sexy. I don't think it's going to be that great. So let's just get it going here. So I'm picking NBA GMs as at the top of my naughty list.
I hear what you're saying.
It's for selfish reasons.
Yeah, sorry, it's for us. It's selfish for you, but it's also, I would like that as well. Obviously, JD would like that as well. Leigh would like that. So Leigh would love to jump on an emergency podcast from Calgary. That would just be an excuse for him to come inside and get a little bit warm. But Daryl Morey, I like the fact that he's waiting because Joel Embiid's peak is right now. I like the fact that Daryl Morey isn't just going after a good player. I think he should wait for a great player because if they go and get somebody on the periphery, somebody who's decent. There was the Jeremy Grant name being thrown out there, who obviously would help. But I think you got to go for it in these Embiid years. Let's say they go get a Jeremy Grant, and let's say they drop out in the second round even. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't call it a wasted season, but it's another season in Joel Embiid's brain that I guess it ain't going to work in Philadelphia. And I'm not saying he's leaving, but you know what I mean? It's just another one of those bad seasons. But I'm with you. Make a trade. It's December 23rd. I've been up since December 15th when 84% of the league was eligible to be traded. I've been up for 8 straight days. Wow. I thought a trade was going to happen at midnight, December 15th. I wasn't fooled. It's hard to make a trade. It is hard to make a trade. And I'm glad Morey's not pushing it. But yeah, you'd think Charlotte has to happen pretty soon. Somebody. I went through like 7 or 8 teams there, Leigh. I'm sure you agreed with a lot of the squads that there are moves to be made, either like really big switch ups, like in case of in an instance of the Blazers or the Pacers, or other around the fringe type moves with a lot of them. Again, these like 500 teams, like we played enough of the season to sort of know where a lot of these squads lie. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And this was one of the things that Daryl Morey it was implied that he was going to wait for, let's see how the first quarter or first third of the season goes. And then we can start to see which teams are looking a little more desperate than others. And that's kind of now, I think what he's clearly sent the message to the Ben Simmons camp is we're not bowing down to sort of pressure from him or his agent or his people to just get him out of there as soon as possible. Daryl Morey is going to play the long game here, and he's going to wait until he gets exactly what he wants in return. And or he's just going to make Ben Simmons, sit out in his own sort of on his side there. And really, he just has to wait. And that's the real problem here for this trade, because it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it happens and exactly who gets traded. But Daryl Morey is just saying, I have the power right now. I have the leverage. And I think this is one of those things, actually, the NBA and I think Adam Silver and some of the other GMs probably like the fact that player power hasn't sort of come in and overruled that situation. Because, we saw when Anthony Davis basically said to the Pelicans, I want out of here and I want to go to the Lakers. And eventually it happened. It didn't quite happen when they wanted it to, him and his team there. But Ben Simmons has said the same thing. I want to get out of here. I want to go to the Lakers or the Warriors. And Daryl Morey's like, sorry, that's just not happening. You're just going to have to wait until the right trade materializes that helps the Philadelphia 76ers right now. And so in that sense, Daryl Morey is just sort of saying, I don't have to trade you right now because I don't want to until I get that deal that I think really is the right one for us.
Is your power flickering over there? Why were your lights off and then suddenly back on again?
Great question. One of those one of those little kinks that we're working out. A good one to do it on December 23 when a few people are distracted. Maybe we don't have the biggest audience we were hoping for, so you can sort of work these things out.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
I thought you were going to go to sleep for a second. You're like, okay, that's enough. I've talked for 15 minutes. Night, guys.
Yeah. When it's cold and cozy, it does certainly feel like you want to hop under the covers a little bit more often in bed here. So I think I'm back now. I think I'm in good spirits here, good. So we're great.
You're looking great. Let's get to Santa's NBA nice list then. All right, let's switch it up. Who do you have, Tess?
Stephen Curry, and not for on the floor. Yeah. Okay, he's got the most threes in NBA history. I get it. He did that. Great. But to me, why he's nice is that he is sharing his power. He has signed a landmark agreement with UConn's AZ Fudd as his first basketball player that he's mentoring. Now, she is a great baller herself, but now what he's doing for her is opening all the doors that he has opened, and she can just walk right in. Like every business partner she gets to talk to, every opportunity that Steph Curry has, every business venture that he's entered, she gets to be a part of. It's a landmark agreement where he is the mentor. This name, image, and license barrier that has been dropped by college basketball is now opened up these sort of opportunities where Steph is now mentoring AZ Fudd, but she's just the first. And he is obviously always given back to women's basketball, to people of color. And so in this instance, every door that he's opened, she can come right in and be a part of that. I didn't
even know about this.
Yeah, it's a great article on The Athletic about it. And not only is she a part of the business ventures and the business side of things, but she's got access to everything, basketball worthy as well. Like she was at a game when they played the Nets. She was there pregame. She was there in the locker room. She maybe not the locker room, but she was there in the back hallway pre and post game, and she got to hang out with Steph during his pregame warm up. And Steph actually had a bad pregame warm up, and AZ Fudd said, "How do you bounce back after that?" And Steph actually said this was interesting. He said, "I like when that happens because it kind of makes me recalibrate, refocus when things aren't going well in pregame warm-up." So that was interesting. So she's got access to that side. She's got access to every venture that Aisha Curry actually has as well. So everything that Steph has that he's had the opportunity to get into business-wise, she's there as well. So it's a name, image, license agreement that because that's changed. And so I think the whole mentorship will change as well from NBA players. So this is the first of that type of agreement for me. He walks into, I don't know who he's, what was the oxygen company, the
Oxygen Water?
04 or something, Oxygen Water, Oxygen with an I. Anyways, she walks in and says, "Hey, what's up with your water?" And she can walk into that boardroom and have that conversation because Steph. So everywhere Steph goes, AZ goes. So that's a
but
pretty cool deal.
But this is a deal between her and then Curry's
Steph.
business. And
yeah,
Steph.
yeah.
Oh,
It's Steph's business is called SC30 Inc.
Right.
That brand, and yes, it's a landmark agreement where he is her mentor, and to obviously to lift up women's basketball, to lift up women, to lift up people of color. But yeah, she's great in and of herself. She was at Curry's camp in 2018, only one of 2 women, and she won the 3-point contest.
Oh, that's cool.
Lots of NBA players there too. Jalen Green, Anthony Edwards, Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton were there, and she won the 3-point contest. She's a bala.
Look at Tassie with these unique answers here to the NBA.
That's great. That's great. Steph, great. Yeah, he hits shots. Great. But what he's doing off the court, more important.
All right. Well, Leigh, I got a feeling you're going to take it back to the court here. This guy does, though he loves the 3-point shot. So I'm sure he loved that story. That was really cool. I didn't know that. Who do you have, Leigh, on your NBA nice list?
Well, I'm back here in Toronto, so I'm going with a Toronto favorite, even though he's a Bull right now. And I believe DeMar DeRozan is honestly having his best individual season ever, really. I mean, in terms of numbers, he's had other seasons where he scored slightly more. He's even shot slightly better a couple of years ago there in San Antonio. But to me, there is just no doubt this is the most dominant he has ever looked at. And, he's got the 27 points on 50% shooting, only 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Fine. He's never been a big rebound guy. He's never been a big assist guy. But when it's winning time in the fourth quarter, that's where he's just been so good, leading the league in scoring average at 8 points per game, shooting 54% and 91%. Again, this is all in the fourth quarter. And just think about how many times we've seen a Bulls game, and in that fourth quarter, DeRozan has clearly been the best player on the court. He's done it against the Lakers, the Nets, the Knicks, the Raptors. The list goes on. And also in those games, I mean, particularly against the Nets, he was going at Kevin Durant, it's not like he's just posting up against some, guy who's just been called up in the coronavirus protocols right now. He's doing it against legit defense, against legit competition. And really, what an off-season signing that has been for the Bulls, because, when they signed him 3 years, or I think it was around $85 to $90 million there, it's like, is this guy maybe just at the end of his career? You're really overpaying for him. Honestly, right now, that looks like the best offseason signing, and it looks like a bargain as well. And the fact that he's gone into a team that already had a high-scoring guard/forward there in Zach LaVine, and Zach hasn't in any way had his game interrupted, or there's been no clashing between those two guys about who's getting the last shots. It's clearly DeRozan's team in the fourth quarter, and it really is paying off the Bulls. They look fantastic. Right now I have DeRozan. He's an absolute lock for the All-Star game. In fact, I have him down as a front court starter. I think that's still the case whenever those teams get announced. Look, he's not going to win MVP. We're not going to get too crazy here. Sure, it's Christmas, but he has been as high as number 5 on Skeets' old favorite there, the Basketball Reference MVP tracker. He's not going to win it, but he's certainly having such an incredible season. And I think it reflects on just the way that the Bulls have been this season. They've been a team that coming in, we weren't sure if they were going to be a significantly improved team. I think right now, if they fall anywhere shorter than 4th in the Eastern Conference, that'll be a bit of a letdown. I think they've been playing so well. Their minimum goal right now should be home court advantage in the first round. I think they're going to get there. So, DeRozan's been fantastic. He's been great to watch, and again, really stepping up. He had the 19 points in the fourth quarter against the Lakers just the other day in a close game. And that really just showed how dominant he's been and how hard he has been to defend. So lots of love here for DeMar. He's former Raptor, now a Bull. So he's going to be loved by all the No Dunks and Starters crew and fans.
Oh, you see Trey here in the stream team actually saying that the entire Bulls team, Leigh, could be on the NBA nice list with the season they've had.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think it goes back even to the front office there. Carnisha for signing Alex Caruso, getting DeMar DeRozan, of course, Lonzo Ball as well. They cost them a second-round pick or something like that in 5 years' time to get Lonzo Ball. But pretty much everything that they have done in the front office has paid off for them. And Chicago's playing right now. There's still maybe a little bit of a depth issue as far as their big man. That Vucci's had his moments, but at other times he hasn't looked as good in certain situations. But overall, I think the Chicago Bulls, where we sit today, are at worst the third best team in the Eastern Conference.
I got a few people on my nice list in the NBA. I want to start with Joe Johnson, the Armadillo Cowboy. Wow. Yeah, ISO Joe. You saw this last night, Leigh. I don't know if you were watching this game. Boston got the victory over the Cavs, 10-point victory. The crowd was chanting, "We want Joe." This guy at 40 years old, the big 3 MVP, hasn't been in the league in a couple of years. What is he, a 7-time All-Star? A lot of that coming with the Hawks. But he gets in, and he nails the bucket from around the free throw line. Place goes insane. This was a feel-good moment in a very weird season where there hasn't been a lot to, actually cheer on with people leaving the lineups left and right here. But this was pretty wild, Tess.
Yeah, and usually when an older guy comes back, he'll come in, clank a couple.
Right.
But Joe pure, absolutely pure. And I saw this tweet from Tim Reynolds, and I couldn't believe it. Only 2 guys have hit baskets with the same team when they were 20 years old and 40 years old.
Right.
I couldn't believe there's only 2 guys.
And
so Joe is one of them because he was drafted by the Boston Celtics 20 years ago in 2001. And he comes back in 2021. The other one we just talked about yesterday. He's retired, but he was on our show yesterday. He made a quick appearance because he was in the broadcast booth.
Leigh, do you know?
Or was it 2 days ago? He was in the broadcast booth. He was on the call.
Oh, Dirk.
Dirk, yeah.
Only
Only Dirk and Joe Johnson have hit baskets with the same team.
I was
20 to 40.
automatically thinking of someone who maybe played one season with a team
back.
and then
then
did
left.
that.
Those a little, threw you for a loop there. But Joe looking good.
Yeah. He honestly looks in great shape for a 40-year-old Leigh. He's been doing some bar 3, I think.
Oh yeah, it is hilarious because Doc Rivers had a quote the other day where he's been getting calls from random dudes who have been out of the league for a few years, and Doc's like, "There's no way you can still play at the NBA." But Joe Johnson has kept himself in great shape, been playing really well in the 3-on-3 there, and then just came out there and got a bucket, wearing number 55 as well, which was pretty cool to see. So I mean that's the silver lining to this. All these players missing out right now is that there's a couple of old guys. Lance Stevenson was back for the Atlanta Hawks. So,
I saw him in person down at the Fortress last night. He did not look as good as ISO Joe, I will say.
I mean, Lance is probably only 33 or
he was
34,
struggling.
isn't he? I mean, So Joe Johnson, 40-year-old, just going out there getting a bucket. Great to see.
Joe Johnson set a new record for time between games with the same team too. 19 years and 308 days. Because, as you said, Tass, he was drafted by the Celtics, 10th overall in 2001, and then he was traded that season. As a rook, but then comes back last night after signing with the squad and hits the bucket. You want to play some trivia, Leigh?
Yes.
Okay, because this is a great one by way of ESPN. So again, longest span between appearances for the same team. Joe Johnson has the record now. Who did he just eclipse? And I'm going to give you a hint. That's going to be a big giveaway. One of our colleagues at The Athletic knows this man very well, I would say. Like we would call him dad almost.
Would call him dad.
Oh, Bill Winnington?
No.
As in he is his son?
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe so. Somebody at The Athletic is the son of a guy, of the player.
James Edwards.
James Edwards. That's right. I guess for the Lakers, he had a big 14-year gap, James Edwards did. Yeah. A little strange. Okay. Then a lot of them have 13 years or 12 years. We had this guy on the show, on the starters program. He did a famous thing using the table.
Bernard King?
King. Yeah.
He knows how to spin.
He knows how to spin. He was showing us on the table
This is how you spin in the post.
So that's with the Nets there, Leigh. This one. We never had this man on the starters, though. We considered him, he was obviously a colleague. I say a good friend. We hung out at some Christmas parties. He's obviously an unbelievable. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Kevin Garnett?
No, not Kevin Garnett. I can't remember if he actually got in the Hall of Fame or maybe he hasn't yet. And that's the big controversy. Yeah, I think.
C-Web?
C-Web.
Is it?
He got in. Yeah, he got in. Okay, I
couldn't
remember. Yeah. Chris Webber with the Warriors, right? Okay.
Yeah, he went back there, yeah.
A Chicago Bull here, but Leigh, you know him as a New York Knick. That's who everybody knows him as.
Jamal Crawford?
No. That's a good guess. He played with Jordan, and then he played against Jordan. That's your big hint. And then he's buddies with Jordan still.
Charles
Oakley.
Yeah.
All right, two more. This is a classic Raptors name, Task.
I think of Charles Oakley as a Raptor.
Well, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. Give me a classic Raptors name.
The team, again, longest span between appearances. The team was the Spurs, but you don't ever really think of this guy as a Spurs player, I don't think. You think of him as a Raptor.
Alvin Robertson?
No, that's a good guess.
Willie Anderson?
No, he's a big guy. He's got a memorable name. There's been never another this guy in the league.
Tony Massenberg?
What a call. What a call. And
Great
final
name.
one, you keep talking about this guy. He's current player. He plays for this team that he's had the long span between. He's obviously played on a bunch of teams. But you talk about him a lot, I feel like. Like you
It's
you
not
make
Hammacher Okafor.
no.
He's not going back to the
No.
Bobcats,
We got a
is he?
current player here, but Tass talks about him. Be like, you make a lot of comparisons to him because this guy played like an instrumental role on a championship team. You just said it the other day. This guy's name, like maybe yesterday.
Not Gary Neal.
No, not Gary Neal. No, better than Gary Neal. I mean, this guy's
not Harry Neal.
not a Hall of Fame player, but
What team is it with?
well, okay, he plays for the Lakers. I'm giving you it away now.
Oh, Trevor
Ariza.
I love making that comparison.
You do,
Just that
right?
fifth guy on a championship team,
So there you
ready
go.
to do the
There you
dirty
go.
work.
What a weird trivia question that was.
was.
But we got there. That's a fascinating little fact to know, though. So, like, the point is, Joe Johnson destroyed the previous record. I said it was like 14 years something. James Edwards, 19 years, nearly 20 years for Joe Johnson. That is wild. So that was a feel-good moment. My other, selection here for the NBA nice list, it's the rookie class.
It's a good one.
Okay, because and look, we're not going to go through every single guy here again. We've talked a lot about Mobley, a lot about Scotty Barnes, a lot about Cade Cunningham. But then it really is nice. I mean, Giddey does look special. Josh Giddey looks very special at times too. He is a talent.
You said Giddy and Josh Giddy look very
Sorry,
special.
I meant
He looks so good.
I meant
Maybe twice.
Kuminga for that second one.
Okay.
I mean, he looks like he could be like a diamond in the rough. Duarte, he's going to play a long time in this league.
You're the biggest Chris Duarte fan.
I do like
know.
Chris Duarte. That guy's going to
Easily.
be around for a long time.
That's fair.
Jalen Green, I mean, he's out right now. He's got the hamstring injury. He did have a 30-point game. He hit 8 threes in like one of his games. He had like another 24-point game. So there's flashes there.
I believe.
Yeah, I still believe. You're not giving up on him. Şengün,
He's great.
he shows flashes of brilliance. I mean, these are Davion Mitchell screams second team all defense for a couple times. He's got that. And then Frank Wagner. Oh, saw him with my own eyes last night. Down at the
You
Fortress.
calling him Frank Wagner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. I wrote it down like that.
That's a
You
classic
got
one.
auto-corrected
must-
from Franz.
I wrote it down like that. I think I did get auto-corrected. But 25 points last
He
night.
is, yeah.
He's
a
way
slasher.
better than I thought too. The more I watch of him,
He's
like
got
he's,
footwork.
yeah, exactly.
So much of the fun is
the
just
class.
saying his first name is Franz.
Yeah,
I mean,
Frank. I'm calling him Frank now.
You know who's also giddy by Josh Giddey's
Yeah.
play? His coach, Mark Digno. Somebody mentioned here in the stream team, we passed the naughty list, but Mark Digno's got to be on the naughty list because of that crew neck sweater that he wore.
God, okay.
Okay, he's got to be on there. What are you doing with that crew neck sweater, sir? We can get away from the suits, but as we said, you need some sort of collar. You need a polo, or you need a quarter zip. That's even acceptable. But this is what
It
we're all
sounds
wearing.
like you
I'm
need
wearing
it sounds like you need
I'm
a
wearing one right
collar,
now.
a button, or a zip.
anything. I'm wearing the same thing that Mark Digno wore.
Yeah.
Essentially, but
Yeah.
mine's a little bit flashier. I mean,
Yeah,
he would have.
definitely.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
moving on.
All right, one more question here in the holiday spirit of things. What is on your NBA Christmas wish list, Taz?
It's got to be Zion Williamson. Let's get back to the floor. Zion
Okay.
Williamson has to get back playing basketball. Now, I will say one good sign is that Stan Van Gundy, his former head coach, is head coach of just one season. And even though Stan Van was fired, he has come out and been in Zion's corner. And he said to multiple people on Twitter, just going after the Twitterati that are coming after him, he said, you and all the other people commenting on here, you've got no idea what he weighs or what his body fat is. And none of the injuries he has have had anything to do with conditioning. I think that's important. You know, Stan Van tells it like it is. I don't think he's trying to sugarcoat anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly saying none of the injuries have had anything to do with conditioning. Now, everybody's saying he's got to get in shape. Stan Van adds, of course he needs to get in great shape. Everybody does. So I like the fact that Stan Van has said that. He went on to say the Joel Embiid example at the beginning of his career. Embiid played 31 games through his first 3 seasons in the league because he missed his first 2.
Mhm.
Then he came back and played 31 seasons. And Zion has already played 3 times that. Stan Van's a numbers man. So he said, yeah, that's a good example that Zion can try and reach for to try and beat Joel Embiid and try and be that guy. Now, we've talked ad
But
nauseam.
the issue, of course, is he Greg Oden or is he Joel Embiid?
Right. Yes. That's
when it comes
fair.
to health. Yeah.
Well, I went down a rabbit hole yesterday and I started watching William Perry. We're going back in the NFL.
The
some
fridge?
some refrigerator highlights. I mean,
Why?
that man can move.
Yeah.
And
he
he's
scored a
big.
touchdown in the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Sure, he's a
Yeah.
very big man. So there's
He plays a different sport.
he
but,
does,
yeah.
he does, but he's quite agile.
Yeah.
He can move left to right, and hopefully Zion Williamson can emulate the fridge. No, let's hope he's more like. Well, he's nowhere like Joel Embiid because he moves so much more explosively.
Yeah.
And he's a different guy. You can get into the whole science of it all, the whole physics of it all. Can this man play this sport being that big? But the fact is, yeah, maybe physically he just can't. Maybe biologically he just can't. But Stan Van coming out and being in his corner for a guy, again, who was fired by the Pelicans after just one season, could have a bone to pick, but he's absolutely saying none of those injuries had anything to do with conditioning. And so that's a good sign for Zion, obviously, going forward here. And I just want to see him back because it's easy to forget. All the talk is about injury, so it's easy to forget that he was at 27 points per game and 60% from the floor. 27 in year 2 when he didn't even have a full year 1. So, yeah, my Christmas wish list is to see a very, very, very unique player. The only player that I can connect him to plays another sport. William the Refrigerator Perry.
He's like he's like a souped up Barkley.
He's
like a taller, bigger Barkley.
He's just
when
large.
Barkley came in the league.
Yeah, that's fair, but he's so explosive.
Okay. So Zion coming back.
Get back.
All right. That's a great gift to have, I guess, on your Christmas wish list. What about you, Leigh?
Well, look, if you go to the Basketball Reference Minnesota Timberwolves franchise index, it's pretty grim reading. There's only one playoff appearance since 2004, and they only won one game there against the Houston Rockets. So I hope the Minnesota Timberwolves can get back to the playoffs. That's what I want to see. They're right now 15-16. They've had some good moments this season. They've had some or pretty bad moments as well. They're 9th right now. They're in the play-in tournament as we sit here today. But I would love to see it if the Timberwolves could put everything together and just make it into the playoffs again and see what happens. Because honestly, for a couple of reasons, I want to just see Karl Anthony Towns, see how much he's changed since the last playoff appearance. And I honestly want to see Anthony Edwards not just on the court in the playoffs. I want to see his off-court scrums and press conferences and things like that, because Anthony Edwards talks. He is not afraid to sort of call someone out, talk the talk, and then go out there and walk the walk. He's also got the flip phone. I want to sort of see all those other little things he brings to the whole playoff picture. So, they're in a funny position right now, the Wolves, because this is their squad. I think it's Towns, Russell, and Edwards, and then they've got a few other players on the periphery there who can make a contribution. But if those three guys together can just finally get Minnesota into some point where they're like, okay, they're in the playoffs now, let's just see what happens. They're young, they're healthy, they're active. Maybe things can improve, because it has been such a long time since the Minnesota Timberwolves have been even remotely close to sort of contending. And I just want to see it change. It's a bit like the Sacramento Kings. Sure, we've made a few jokes over the years on them, but don't you just want to be like, oh, that fan base just deserves a team in the playoffs? And like I say, right now the Timberwolves have had some good moments. Edwards is a legit star. There's no doubt about it. He's not going to make the All-Star team this year, I don't think, but I certainly think it's on the horizon for him. And he's also just a great guy off the court. So that's where I'm hoping that the Timberwolves can take this 15-16 record, get a little bit over 500, maybe 45 wins, and then see what happens come playoff time, because it'd be good to see them just back in there competing and in the postseason for what feels like something that just never really happens in Minnesota.
That's a good one. I like that. If TK is still watching, I got one on my Christmas wish list. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander becomes an all-star in 2022. There's still hope. I still believe, for those that are new to the show, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons ago, we made a weird bet. Would SGA blossom into an all-star? Trey's like, no, not that quickly. I said, no, I believe. And he had a monster game last night. So this is great timing here for me making this pick. 27 points, 11 boards, 12 assists. So his second career triple-double in a win over the Nuggets, where Coach Malone, I don't know if you saw that, said, get out of here, starters. That includes you, reigning MVP Jokic. You're not coming back. I don't like your energy. And they didn't return, and OKC got the win. That's a whole other thing, though, we could talk about on a different day. But in his past 10 games, SGA averaging 25 points, 6 assists. He had the game winner that we've already talked about. He had the game winner before that was somehow trumped by Devontae Graham and his 61-foot bomb. So he's hitting these clutch shots. He had a big one against the Lakers early in the season. I saw StatMuse tweeting, OKC, when SGA plays, 53 win percentage. Solid.
Very solid.
Above 500. They'd be right in the mix in the Western Conference. When he's out, 16.7% win percentage. So not very good there. SGA, I think, could make it as a replacement player. And I don't want to wish an injury upon any guard that's in the West, but that will likely be his best chances because I went through the All-Stars last year. Curry and Luka were the starting guards. Then you had 3 reserve guards in Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, and Chris Paul. Booker then was a replacement for Anthony Davis. And then Conley was a replacement for Booker, okay? But you're generally going to get 5, maybe 6 guard positions on your roster. Let's call it probably more likely 5.
Right.
So what does that mean for this season and SGA's chances? Curry, Luka, despite the Mavs, being pretty mediocre, and Mitchell are locks. Like those 3 are 100% going to be all-stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leigh, you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. The Suns' record being the best team in the NBA, well, they're getting 1 for sure, and then maybe 2 again.
Probably.
Right?
You would they would have
1
to.
for sure.
I would just hope that
Booker.
Yeah, I would think it's Booker.
Yeah.
It should be Booker, although he's missed 7 games. I would just hope that the coaches' vote don't cannibalize each other. It's just going to be a lot of Booker cancel each other out because there's going to be Booker votes. There's going to be CP votes.
Okay, well
one should.
I think
one should.
One for sure is going to. I'm sorry, and then 2 maybe.
Right.
Again, Chris Paul is still playing at an all-star level. His numbers do not wow you, but again, they're on maybe the best team in the league. He's the closer. Yeah. He has that. Being a vet, coaches go, Chris Paul's still good. Put him back in.
Yeah, and they're more likely to get 2 guards, I think, than one of those guards plus DeAndre Ayton.
Like Ayton, probably. Okay, so, I've named 5 if both of them are in, but let's say there's one more spot even there. His competition, SGA's, right now would be Ja Morant, who has missed some time too, and the Grizzlies played awesome without him. I mean, I'm not going to hold that against him, but he's played 20 games, so 66% of games right now, but there's a lot of time before the All-Star game. So Ja Morant, Westbrook, but I feel like that ship has sailed.
No
right?
way.
Right.
No
okay.
way
No
Westbrook's getting in this year.
Anthony Edwards, Lee, you brought his name up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he is like, it's just too soon. Like, he scores like 22 points per game, but now he's missing time. He won't be making it this year, though. Like you said, in the coming years, yes. And then DeJounte Murray. And the numbers he's putting up in the Spurs, and OKC has a pretty similar record right now to San Antonio. I think they're like a game behind them in the win-loss column.
Mm-hmm.
Point is, it's Ja Morant or SGA. I mean, DeJounte Murray, he's got his fans, and I love him too. He'll get some recognition there.
Oh, it's Ja if it's between Ja and Shai. Yes.
100%?
Especially, where they are in the standings. Shai is now veering towards the bottom of the Western Conference standings. Very, very, very close.
Well, I say all that to say
that
it's close, and it's going to take probably, unfortunately, an injury. He's got to be a replacement.
Well, at least he's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the conversation.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And he is amazing, and the team is obviously a completely different team when he plays. And if it's not this year, maybe I can get Trey to give me a 1 more year addendum to our bet.
Everything
an extension,
changed.
an extension
exactly.
on the contract. Yeah.
I don't even think Trey would, because he's smart. He's like, no, he's so close to it. He could make it next year, especially if OKC made a move and got somebody in.
I think as well, you make good cases there for those other players. There's the one sort of player who's going to get the veteran love from the coaches, despite the fact that lately he's been playing much better, but he got off to a terrible start. It's Lillard.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to get the respect vote.
That's a good point. I
feel like he's got the lifetime award. Like you just can't leave him out now.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Joe Johnson. Speaking about Joe Johnson, remember he got it, for a couple of years there, and LaMarcus Aldridge has also had it as well.
Yeah, but there were some instances where it was like, I mean, the other names that Joe Johnson was maybe making it over were not amazing. Like these, I just took you through 3 or 4 guys that are playing at a pretty high level.
Yeah,
and Lillard could be there. I agree with you.
And if Lillard's had some injury problems as well this season, but if he play, voting opens on Christmas Day. Now we know he's not going to get voted in, but if he was to play right up until the point where the coaches have to make their choices, and he continues to play the way he has the last 3 or 4 games here, it's going to be hard to keep him off, just because it's like, Lillard deserves it. It's been a rough season. Things haven't gone well there in Portland. So, he's got a case. He's got a strong case, as always.
It's tough spot to make an all-star appearance. But I do think you should get a year extension, because I think
thank you.
There's been year extensions all over the place. This is a weird one I heard of. You see all those lists of these accomplished people under 30 or these accomplished people under 40.
Yeah.
Even those get extended. You could be 40 or 41 now because of these crazy last couple years. You get an extra year. It's like the last year didn't happen. Like you're still 39 or you're still 29.
You're saying I could make like a best of under 40 list despite being 41?
100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
100%. Those are happening.
Let's talk offline about my SGA extension.
Because I was asked if I wanted to be nominated for best Greek Canadian American. This Greek thing. Anyways, it's just being Greek. It's just being Greek.
Humble brag. That's
well,
cool.
I mean, no, it's like asked to be nominated. So it's like anybody can be nominated. I was asked if I wanted to be nominated. And I'm 40, so I said no. There's no. I can't even think about doing it. He said, "Well, the guy I'm speaking with said, well, this the last couple of years don't count. Everybody who's 40 and over gets so you get an extension. That's all I'm saying. Weird things are happening. This is a weird world.
This list that you're on. Who else is going to be on this list?
Vasilis Spanoulis,
classic.
Kevin Pangos,
Georgios Princess. What's his name?
Yorgos Printezis.
Yeah.
Just a Greek list.
Just Greek names.
Oh, okay.
There are Greek people in the world.
Okay.
I said who did I say there? Kevin Pangos, the Cavs guard, the Canadian Cavs guard. I don't think he's Greek. That sounds Greek.
Definitely sounds Greek.
He's not Greek, but he played overseas. Baller. He got some minutes last
year. Ira Nubel sounds Jewish. We don't think he is. Shout out to Matty O. All right, let's take our first break. Leigh, don't go anywhere because I want to buy you some gifts from the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
You weren't on yesterday's show. And JD actually has a gift to open, and I want to get your thoughts on the Hall of Fame list. So lots more still to come here on the No Dunks Drop. We'll be right back.
The best way to think about therapy is through a bunch of analogies. We get our cars tuned up to prevent bigger issues down the road. We trim our beards so that we don't get obscene amounts of food in them. We re-spool our fishing reels so that we don't break off when a big one's on the line. Going to therapy is like all of these. It's routine maintenance for your mental and emotional wellness to prevent bigger issues down the road. Going to therapy doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you're investing in yourself to keep your mind healthy. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So head to betterhelp.com/nodunks today to get 10% off your first month. That's BETTERHELP.com/nodunks for 10% off your first month. BetterHelp. Why invest in everything else and not your mind?
When it comes to athletes, we tend to focus on physical fitness, speed, vertical leaping ability, or in Leigh's case, arms. This guy loves arms. He loves biceps. Leigh, do you have your top 3 biceps in the league right now?
I have my top 1. And it's Desmond Bain here from the Memphis Grizzlies. Look at those guns. Yep. They're incredible. Andre Iguodala's still in the league, so of course, he's there. And then number 1, I'm going with referee Billy Kennedy still. He's got a great set of guns on him. He's as good as a player out there. He's as important. So Desmond Bain, Andre Iguodala, and referee Billy Kennedy. The top.
Excellent. I'm glad I asked you. But Leigh, there is another side to the game that's just as important as the guns, as the biceps, and that is mental fitness. Calm, the #1 app for sleep and meditation, has teamed up with LeBron James. Got some pretty good arms as well, to help you train your mind and become the champion version of yourself. Calm can help you train your brain so you sleep better, reduce your stress, and perform at your best, just like the king. For LeBron, sleep is a critical part of his mental fitness routine. As he says, quote, "Getting good sleep and finding time to rest is one of the most valuable things I can do for my body and mind. From the sound of rain falling on leaves to bedtime sleep stories, Calm puts me to sleep within minutes, which means I wake up ready for any challenge," unquote. So if you head to calm.com/nodunks for a limited time, you get 40% off the Calm premium subscription. 40% off. You don't need to sleep on that, but you will once you have Calm. Again, for a limited time, our listeners can join LeBron in using Calm and get a 40% discount on a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/nodunks. Unlock content to help you focus, ease stress, and sleep better. Get started at calm.com/nodunks. Once again, that's calm, CALM.com/nodunks.
Canva Pro is so easy to use.
You don't need to know what layers are to make stuff. You just drag and drop. Earlier this show, I showed a tweet I made using Canva. Like the Raptors' Utah Watanabe said about his performance, I am also so proud of myself for using Canva Pro, and I do it daily. The first time I did it, I filled the frame with a classic No Dunks purple backdrop. That's my template, and every day I go back, select the tweet image I made the previous day, delete it, upload a new one, click on it, and it pops up right on top of the purple. Download, upload, simple. But you can make a lot more elaborate designs than that with Canva Pro. Canva Pro has endless premium fonts, photos, videos, and so much more that add personality and edge to whatever you're designing. Jump on canva.com, click social or presentation or marketing to start you off from thousands of templates, or just start from scratch. Canva Pro is a design platform that empowers you to create and share stunning content in just a few clicks. And with Canva Pro's content planner, you'll save time planning, creating, and posting social media content too. You can pause scheduled posts and edit them at any time. God, I love that organization. I have a sexy graphic depicting how good the Cleveland Cavaliers are coming tomorrow. It's coming soon. I can probably schedule that daily. It happens all the time. I'm always posting my Canva stuff to my social media stuff, and I'm always posting Canva stuff. So, design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.me/nodunks to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/nodunks. Canva.me/nodunks.
Are the Photoshop boys becoming the Canva crew? Know what's happening here? This is wild. All right, back with No Dunks. Leigh up in Toronto. Leigh, before I select a few gifts for you from the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog, I wanted to get your take on the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame list of nominees or eligible candidates for the class of 22. We talked about it yesterday. Obviously didn't have you on the show. We were talking to TK. What are your thoughts on Ginobili and a bunch of these other names, including one of your favorites in Tom Chambers there? But yeah, what was your take?
Well, Tom Chambers should automatically be in the Hall of Fame for still doing being the only person to ever become a replacement player in the All-Star game to go on and win MVP. It's never been done other than when Tommy did it in 1987. So that alone, for me, qualifies him as a legit Hall of Famer. But unfortunately, outside of that, there's just not enough accolades. Tommy has got the 20,000 point plateau. He's in there. He was a 4-time All-Star, I think 2-time All-NBA. But unfortunately, I'm just not sure there's enough there for him to actually qualify on merit otherwise outside of that All-Star game performance. So it's funny to me, like a guy who hasn't played now for over 20 years, like he's finally just getting considered for it now. So I wonder what the delay was or why it hasn't happened before that. So I don't think Tommy makes it, unfortunately. But for me, Manu Ginobili should be an absolute lock. And again, the Basketball Hall of Fame is great because it takes in more than just what happened in the NBA. Of course, he won a gold medal there for Argentina, and he won a lot in Europe as well before he even came to the NBA. So I think he's got more than an impressive resume to get in and to qualify him. But also Manu Ginobili, if you look at his numbers and statistics and even his NBA accolades, like he was only a 2-time All-Star, you know, those sorts of things for a lot of people, if you're not a sicko, think, well, he couldn't have been that good, but he was much, much better than the numbers show for him. I mean, the amount of times, you know, he sacrificed for the greater good there in San Antonio, came off the bench and ended games, or certainly had the ball in his hand late in games to make the right decisions for the Spurs, was just so impressive. I think he's one of the most courageous, the toughest players that we've ever seen. And he was just incredibly awesome. He was a clutch player, clutch shot maker, and had some huge moments. So, but I'm also like Manu's probably easily in my top 5 of all time favorite players.
You're a little biased.
I have a bias there, but I also think he backs it up with his resume. So I think he gets in. I think he gets that love. And then, you know, I scrolled down and saw who else was in consideration there, and the 2 Pistons guys in the backcourt of Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups. And I don't think Rip Hamilton gets in. I think 3-time All-Star, 1 championship, good player. but I just don't think he's done enough to get into the All-Star, to the Hall of Fame there. I think Chauncey Billups has a stronger case. You know, he also had the Finals MVP, which certainly helps. I think it was a 4-time All-Star. So I think one of those guys gets in, but I don't really think it's going to be Rip Hamilton. I just don't think he really quite did enough there. So, and then there's another guy who, there's two more that I just wanted to point out, and I'll start with Tim Hardaway, who was a 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, and he's another one I think deserves to be in there, and I think a big part of the reason he's not in there so far is because of some comments he made in the past that I think is being held against him. Now, he made some very bigoted remarks that were terrible at the time. He has since apologized, and he has since worked to improve, his belief regarding those comments. And I think that, that's the thing. You can learn from your mistakes in the past. I do think they are probably being held against him. So it'll be interesting to see if he can finally break in, because I think for a guy who was only 5'10", he had an incredibly impactful role, especially on those Miami Heat teams. He was a part of the Run TMC Warriors, of course. That only lasted 2 years. That's certainly something we look back at, more nostalgically and think how much fun it was. They didn't necessarily have all that much success in terms of playoff success there. But I think Tim Hardaway qualifies based on merit. I think he's done enough. And then there's the big one, the Sean Marion. Sean Marion, we've talked about him a ton, about whether or not he's an all-star, whether or not he's a Hall of Famer. And I think he gets in. 4-time All-Star, won the championship there with the Dallas Maverick, and was certainly, again, another player who was better than the statistics or the way that he played, because you've got to think about this guy. He had one of the ugliest shots we've ever seen in the NBA, but he was still able to average more than 20 points for a few seasons there. And that, to me, just shows how good he was at being in the right spot, catching alley-oops from Steve Nash, running the floor, getting tip-ins and putbacks, and just making scores and baskets out of nothing to not get any call for him, any plays called for him. So I think Sean Marion gets in, fantastic defender, great two-way player. But it'll be very interesting to see how the voting goes for him, because I think he was more impactful than necessarily the numbers or even the eye test showed for casual fans.
So if you had a ballot, you're saying you're ticking Manu Ginobili, Tim Hardaway, Chauncey Billups, and Sean Marion. Those 4 you think are deserving Hall of Fame?
I believe so, yes. Of that list, I mean, definitely I would put Becky Hammon in there as well. I think she has a fantastic career and a fantastic resume, and also Swin Cash. So I'm not sure how many. Do they have a amount who get in each year, or is it just you got to get the
I don't
votes?
think there's like a max or a minimum, no.
So I think Swin and Becky Hammon also get in. And George Karl also, I mean, 6th all-time in NBA coaching wins. I mean, I think he's got a very, very strong case.
What about Joey Crawford?
I mean, how many games did he referee? Like, it must have been a couple of thousand, and had his moments, of course. But I think for what he gave to the game, he certainly deserves to be in there as well.
Okay, I think the most fascinating name that we haven't even said here from this entire list of eligible people to go in, Muggsy Bogues, and I think it's just fascinating because he's a 14-year vet. And okay, if you look at his like accumulative numbers, I don't have them in front of me. They're not probably going to blow you away. Obviously he wasn't like a 20-point per game scorer or anything like that. More of an assist guy and steal guy. But is he helped out by the fact of being 5'3", like the shortest player to ever play in the NBA, and being a memorable player at that because he's 5'3" and like had success? Like, what do you think, Tass? Like, should that give him a bump? Because we had a big like WhatsApp group chat going with all the guys talking about the names and stuff like that. And people are bringing up like, what about Muggsy? Like, again, it's not going to be numbers based as much as it's going to be like, we're never going to see this again, which is probably fair.
It's fair. And that helps his case in that it's not just a snowball effect of guys who are in the future going to be 5'5" or smaller or somewhere close to Muggsy Bogues' height and just continuously getting in if they get to some mark. It's really about the effect that he had, the impact that he had of players who wanted to play that weren't 6'4". Really, it's the off the court impact. He's still sort of an ambassador of the game. He's still around the game,
but so never an all-star, never an all-NBA selection. Obviously not a champion. Again,
it's more like in the builder's wing of the Hall of Fame almost.
Interesting.
Rather than the player part of it.
Right.
And when what he contributed to the game, Yeah, being that inspirational figure.
What do you think, Leigh? Like, no chance Muggsy ever gets into the Hall of Fame, or
I wouldn't say no chance because very popular, well loved, and also just the fact that a guy that height could have such a successful career is remarkable because basketball is the one sport where you're just considered to have an advantage if you're 6'6" because everyone is 6'6", and Muggsy out there 5'3", running around, playing at that level for so long certainly is admirable and deserves respect. So whether or not that's enough to qualify you for the Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. We know that sometimes, the requirements basically it's a subjective vote. It comes down to the voters and whether or not they just think that guy's deserving. So it'd be nice to see Muggsy get that honor, but I'm just not sure if he will. Maybe not this season. So it's hard to say really because, those guys, if you're going for just because it was that sentimental reason because everyone loved him, then sure. But if you open it up for Muggsy, then you probably have to open it up for a lot of other guys too.
That's fair. All right, Leigh. Well, yesterday you weren't here on the show, like I said, and I went through the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog and picked out some gift ideas for you gentlemen. I thought I'd save your gifts for when you were here, Leigh. So I got a couple things I want to get you. And we're going to show them to you, and then you're going to have to guess how much they cost. Because that's what you do at Christmas, right? You open up a gift, and then you go around the room. And
Leigh loves gift
receipts. That's what we did at our house. It's really weird. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Leigh, don't eat the gift receipt, okay? Leigh, are you still there?
Okay, yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. So, Leigh, my first item that I want to give to you, you've been a good boy, Leigh. It's the Italian countertop pizza oven. Now, you're always talking about pizza. Now, I know you got your green egg, but let's be honest. I remember you texting my wife saying, what's going on with this pizza dough I've got here? I can't get the crust right on this green egg. So I think this might help you, Leigh. It's available only from the Hammacher Schlemmer. This is the countertop pizza oven designed by an Italian company that specializes in gourmet kitchenwares, and it's very powerful. It's got a 1,200 watt heating element, and it works in concert with a built-in 12.5-inch diameter baking stone. Okay, so it gets up to 750 Fahrenheit inside this little bad boy. First off, what do you think? Would you like this?
I'd give it a shot for sure.
Okay.
In terms of my pizza dough, my making it's really improved. I mean, I certainly was communicating with your wife Nora there early on, but it's like anything. The more you do it, it's like even with just simple things like your pancakes. The more you do it, you figure out what works for you and your family. And I was able to really improve the dough making as it went on. So what I do like though is the compactness there of that.
Right.
And I think that is you could take that away if you went camping. You can't do that with you can't do that with a big green egg. But it's so. Did you say do you just plug it in? Is that all you do, or how do you fire it up to?
Yeah, I believe so. It's AC plug. It says right here in the wrap. Wow. Yep. It's 9 pounds. That's all it weighs. You could take this camping.
Yeah.
So you can put this in a firewood tote easily. And
I like the versatility of it there. That you can be like, all right, we're going camping this weekend, and we're taking this oven. I don't know how you'd plug it in. I guess there's always electric outlets at some of those campsites. So maybe at a campsite. Yeah. Okay. Here's the important part of this. How much do you think this costs, Leigh? Oh yeah, this is a real Price is Right, isn't it? Where you're
very tough.
It could be like $1,800, or it could be like $133. I'll go somewhere in the middle. I'll say $249.95.
Okay, JD, you want to have a crack at this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about the size of this thing because these pictures are very deceiving. Look at the spout on the olive oil here, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's massive. How big? Does it say how big it is?
Well, it does say that it's 14 inches in diameter.
The whole thing.
And then it says 9 inches in height. I assume that means when you open the well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
No.
14. Okay. So that's a 14-inch pizza?
No way. That's like a 9-inch pizza.
No, well, it says built-in 12.5-inch diameter baking stone. So your pizza's going to be a little smaller than that. But I think,
well, that's pretty big still. 10.
It's not bad. For pizza for 1 or 2. Anyways,
any pizza can be for one.
yeah. Oh God,
we've
don't
gone
start.
over.
Please don't
Matt
start. on
Austin
that.
and his personal pizza theory. Okay.
Anyway, all that to say, this would never fly in my house because, I have 2 teenagers who eat nonstop. But I think that this is priced around $299.99. That
Okay.
is my guess.
Okay. And Tass, what do you think?
I'm going to capitalize on JD's mistake. He said
Oh.
$299.99.
Oh,
I'm going
boy.
to go $299.95.
Wow. Well,
Proper Hammacher Schlemmer price there.
you guys are way too high.
Oh,
Actually,
really?
Leigh, when you were saying, I don't know if this thing's going to cost $1,800 or $133, you were very close when you said that. $139.95 for an
That's
Italian
all right.
countertop pizza. It's not bad. All right, you guys are into it. Leigh, I got you something you really want, though.
Okay.
Because all you like to do is shoot hoops.
Wow.
So let's just please the Aussie. Okay, here it is. The LED scoring indoor basketball hoop. Let me give you some details about this. This is the over-the-door basketball hoop with the built-in LEDs and a shatterproof backboard score display that tracks shots. Yes, the backboard can withstand vigorous slam dunks, while the 9.5-inch metal rim has a durable 8-loop net that provides an optimal target for long shots. I love when they just don't know what to write in these things and they just like get so wordy. An infrared sensor detects shots and automatically registers points on the LED display with an accompanying sound, which you can turn off. Fits over most doors. It includes a ball and a hand pump, Leigh. Does require 3 AAA batteries to keep the score there. But I thought you'd like that, Leigh. You can shoot in the dark and
Yeah. I can't believe just how software technology has infiltrated the indoor basketball hoop world. Because when I was a kid, we used to have this plastic thing that you would hang over to the door. You'd have to close the door.
yeah.
And just from 3 boys growing up in the house, we'd dunk on it and all that sort of stuff. And I remember Mum would just get like sticky tape and just sticky tape it back together whenever we got broken and cracked and stuff, because there was no mesh net either. It was just like the plastic and then less plastics, smaller plastic around the bottom of it. So that copped a beating. That must have been like $5 back in the day. Now that looks like a super sauced up version of that. And it's almost like too much for just indoor basketball hoopers. I mean, 3 what did you say the batteries were?
AAA
3
batteries.
AA batteries.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 rings
That's,
on the hoop.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's someone comes around to your house and like your kids come around and play and they got that. They're like, oh, you're a bit fancy, aren't you, boys?
It takes 3 AA batteries. Is it AA or AAA?
AAA.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay. So
It certainly looks like it allows for dunking, that it would have the sort of snap back
vigorous
ability there,
dunking.
vigorous dunking, right?
No,
yeah,
this thing
so-
will break literally in 5 minutes. But what do you think it costs, Leigh?
Probably $49.95. I'm guessing.
Okay, $49.95. JD.
Yeah, put me down for $75. 75.
And Tuss?
Yeah, I'm going to go $79.95.
Did you see this page?
No.
Tass nailed it.
Yeah.
$79.95.
Yeah.
Wow. The LED scoring indoor basketball hoop. All right, Leigh. So you're getting some pizza and some hoops. That's like your dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, I would love those gifts for sure. I definitely would put them up, encourage the boys to play while I go and tinker with the old oven there and see if I can, improve my pizza making skills on that little thing. But I like it. I definitely would use both of those items.
Okay.
I wonder if you can make crepes on that thing, Leigh, or a crepe maker.
Oh, wow.
That looks like a bit of
Yeah.
a crepe maker.
Might be
Yeah,
a mess.
crepes.
I don't know. Huh? Maybe not.
When they get that utensil where they spin it around and it's really, really thin. You just have to have one of those for crepes. So
Yeah, that's extra for sure.
yeah.
I'll keep looking through the magazine.
Okay,
See if I
next
can
year.
find you a crepe maker.
Yeah.
Which probably is a thing you can buy from the Hammacher Schlemmer. You can actually keep the music going if you want, JD, because I want to get back to you. I know we did the gift, but we actually have a real item for you to open here in the
Great.
studio.
Exciting.
Before you do, a little backstory, okay, to set the scene. On a November 5th drop podcast, one of the rapid fire questions that we had, I think I was asking it, was for you guys to paint the picture of what your very own City Edition jersey would look like. You remember that?
Right. Yeah.
And you guys all had great answers. JD's was amazing, though, because JD went the extra step. and you showed us your own creation.
I
JD,
did,
and
yeah.
I'm showing it to everybody here on the stream team. You went full on beaver.
Yep.
And you went with the YYZ because you said you were a fan of like the
The airport,
ATL, the
the
airport code.
Yeah.
And you got you added a lightning bolt for some reason there.
Because lightning bolts are really, really hot right now in the city edition jerseys.
Oh, right,
There's
right.
at least 3 with lightning bolts.
Right, okay. And then you went with the Salad King as your sponsor.
Yeah,
and you got
love Salad
and
King.
you got the baby blue. You like that. You had some plaid on the sides
Mm-hmm.
even there because you were like that from the Rip City jerseys.
That's right.
So anyway, I bring all of this back up to have you open that gift here
Okay.
right now on the air as he reaches down and grabs it.
Reaching
Okay.
down. Let me switch to my
I
camera
was gonna say,
so we
don't
can
sit on
see
us.
it.
Okay, here we go. This
So
is
this came
exciting.
priority mail a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Oh.
And I thought it was for you, Skeets, because it
Well,
has your name on it.
Yeah, well, see, I've been anyway.
Thank you, USPS, baby.
This is I'll let you open it first, and then I'll tell you what. Obviously,
Okay.
or who.
It says Nike Air
Nike.
Force One.
You don't say Nike.
Nike.
Yeah,
Nike
no.
Air. Sorry.
That's fine.
All right, cool. And I'm opening
Open it up.
There's a card. Should I read the card?
You can if you want.
I'll read it
Yeah,
after. but,
just get to the gift.
whoa. Okay, these are cool.
Okay.
This is cool.
Okay.
This is really cool.
So show them off to
Wow.
the camera here. Inspired by JD's very own
Nice.
City Edition jerseys. K. David is the artist that created this. You can follow Shoe Fury. Excuse me, Fury, not Furry. I was thinking of the beaver. Shoe Fury.
Wow. That is
They
amazing.
do some. He does some hand painted footwear here. Yeah, and that so pretty incredible. It's got the plaid. It's got the beaver.
Yeah.
Obviously got the color. Got the lightning bolt. Now
Nailed it.
he said the baby blue is infused with metallic silver that will glitter in the right light.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And your beaver was much angrier looking, so he went with a more like cartoony,
Okay, fair enough.
sort of mascot-y vibe, and
I
I
like
think that
it.
was the right call.
Yeah, he is smiling while shooting deadly lightning bolts
Right.
out of his. These are awesome. What size are these?
They're your size.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do I wear them though? It seems.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
you've got
don't think I-
to wear them, man.
You got
When
your
he was
airplane
showing
shoes.
them
You-
to me, I was like, I think JD will wear these. Like, there's a lot going on. In
There
these
is a
shoes,
lot
but
going on.
I was like, I think JD might wear them though.
You
But
got-
anyway.
I think you got your airplane shoes, JD.
I might wear. Yeah, I might have to wear these on the plane tomorrow.
Ah, please do.
The
It's like they'll ask for my passport, and I'll just say, "Look down, sir."
people loving them.
They loving them in the stream too? Okay,
Absolutely
good.
loving them.
That's
a lot of flames.
Shout out to again K David
Thank you, Kate
Shoe.
David. Thank you.
Fury Custom
That is
on
amazing.
Instagram.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. We've been sitting on those for a while. So
Great.
I'm happy you're happy. I did nothing except tell him your shoe size and where to send them. By the way, that was all by the artist.
Those are
K.
nice.
David. Yeah.
It's the best Christmas ever so far, and it's
Yes.
not even Christmas.
Air Force Ones, baby.
All right. Well, we got lots more still to get to here on the Drop Podcast because we've got a very important pick'em that we have to select. You and I are tied.
Mhm.
You've got Tweet of the Night,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Rapid Fire Fun. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay. He's trying on his shoes right now.
Yeah, here it comes. So, guys, I've searched for a lot of sus stuff on the internet. I'll throw out some examples.
Yeah.
I recently Googled the effects of canine shock collars on humans. That's for possibly a pick and payoff coming up, but
Great.
don't worry, Skeets. It doesn't seem that detrimental. I've searched for Spanx for men. Not gonna lie. I Googled Evan Fournier just to see.
Don't do it.
Big mistake. Big
Yep.
mistake. Don't do it. And I know what most of you are probably thinking. Why don't you just use incognito mode? Well, let me tell you something. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history, your internet service provider can see every single website you've ever visited. Oh my God, I gotta get ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. They don't need to know about all that Velma cosplay you look at. It keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the time, I don't even realize it's on. It runs seamlessly in the background, and it's so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button, and you're protected. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET. Visit our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/noducks. And you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's ExpressVPN, ExpressVPN.com/noducks. ExpressVPN.com/noducks to learn more.
Last week, No Dunks received a mail question asking us to name something we were proud of accomplishing later in life. I said I was proud of learning how to cook, which is something that I have not done. No, not at all. But I do plan to be very proud of accomplishing that later in life, kind of talking it into existence. That same day, the very same day, at my doorstep, I received a box of HelloFresh. Now, if there was ever a sign, well, there she was, sent by the delivery gods. And I almost got to cooking right then and there, but it was 10:30 at night. So I waited until the next day to cook me some pork lettuce wraps. The ingredients looked great, although I didn't have high hopes for myself, but they turned out to be delicious, very tasty. I even got approval from my chef wife. She was proud of me, just like I was proud of myself. The future, well, it kind of got turned into the present right then and there. The pork lettuce wraps served 4, but they were so good, the 2 of us finished the whole thing. Well, I did, really. HelloFresh meals are ready in around 30 minutes or less, even for a rook like me. It took me under half an hour, although my wife did doubt that part. Proved her wrong. Plus, with their quick and easy meals, 20-minute recipes, or low prep and easy cleanup options, you can get food on the table even quicker. Save on average over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. That's more money to spend on presents and activities. Your partner will love that. Go to HelloFresh.com/NoDunks14 and use code NoDunks14 for up to 14 meals and 3 free gifts. 4 free meals and 3 free gifts at HelloFresh.com/NoDunks14 and use code NoDunks14. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Back with No Dunks, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow. Twitter.
Well, if you've watched any basketball games recently, you won't recognize the players on the floor. You absolutely will not. And it was taken to a whole other level for the game in Atlanta last night. Orlando visiting the Hawks. That was mostly on the Magic side. Mm-hmm. But I'm giving myself tweet of the night because basically I just tweeted the names of the players who were playing, mostly for the Magic. Listen to these names. These aren't a fake at all. They're not part of Trey Kirby's fake names list, although I hope Trey's listening because he can add them to the list. Mm-hmm. These players were playing in the NBA on December 22nd, 2021. Hassani Gravett, Admiral Schofield.
Okay, I actually remember him. He played for the Wizards, didn't he, for a second? I think. Okay, anyway.
That's sicko mode right there. I don't know. He played Summer League, that's for sure. I know that. Okay. Lance Stevenson, we know that name. Yeah. That was the one name playing for the Hawks. These other 3 names also played for the Magic. BJ Johnson, Aleem Ford, and Tim Frazier. A classic name in Admiral.
Who we've actually met before.
Yes, great man. So he's back. So there's 6 names: Hassani Gravett, Admiral Schofield, BJ Johnson, Aleem Ford. The 4 that I literally had never heard of. And then when I went to the box score, Aleem Ford got the NBA logo treatment for his headshot. Pretty impressive. They had all the other guys' headshots, to be honest. But what was wild was in the arena, because you were there, Skeets, you took a photo
I couldn't believe it.
of the scoreboard.
Wow.
Schofield, BJ Johnson, Freddie Gillespie, Aleem Ford, and Tim Frazier. They're faceless basketball players, because if you're watching with us right here, no headshot, no nothing, just a gray silhouette for 5 different basketball players. amazing. And they won the basketball game.
Yeah, BJ Johnson was on fire.
Man.
6 guys who weren't in the NBA last week playing for the Magic signed and beat an NBA team.
Yeah, Leigh, it was a wild time down at the Fortress last night.
Yeah.
But it was actually sort of fun. We got there super early. I went with my buddy Grish and his family, and we got there 25 minutes before the game. So everybody's warming up. And it was the ultimate, who is that?
Mm-hmm.
We were like, who is that guy? And they're asking me because I do an NBA, but I was like, I don't know. I have no idea who that guy is. And so we're trying to figure it out. And then the game started, and a lot of them were playing all right. BJ Johnson was hitting big shots. He had a couple big threes that kept stopping the Hawks' run. But it was wild. People were also very confused why I was taking a photo of that scoreboard. But I was like, I bet this has never happened here in State Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Down at the Fortress, where all 5 are silhouettes. I mean, they had something wrong on their own team there. Did you notice?
No, I didn't know.
It said Cooper, but it was DeLon Wright's photo. So they had
that happens.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. But yeah, bunch of silhouettes, Leigh. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, Tim Frazier, I recall him because I'm pretty sure he got a triple-double, one of those.
He played for the Pelicans.
He played some ball for the
Pelicans. And it was off the bench or something like that as well. It was one of those maybe at the end of the season you think, okay, next season I've got to get that guy in fantasy basketball. If he's putting up triple-doubles, this guy may be legit. But
he was the accountant,
hilarious.
Right? Wasn't his nickname the accountant for a little while?
I'm not sure, but
feels like it.
Find it.
Great. It's an account name, Tim Frazier.
These last couple of nights I've been watching games, and I am just like, oh my God, I honestly have never even heard of that guy. And he's out here with 16 points. You're like, good on him. Maybe he can stick around in the NBA. But
some of these guys are making, in their 10-day deals, what they made all season long in the G League. Some of them. Yeah. But that's that's great. Like you said, that's the one positive of all of this, all these unfortunate, guys leaving the lineups, the star players or whatever, even role players leaving the lineups because of health and safety protocols with COVID, is that a bunch of people are getting paid. Yeah,
and coming back in the league like Lance Stevenson. How was Lance for the Atlanta Hawks?
Lance was not making them dance last night. No.
Somebody's got to be
it was rough.
Making a doc about this, right? Hopefully there's somebody out there. I mean, it should be us, really, but we're busy over here. But that's going to be the next sports, or there's going to be a sports movie about it in a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I mean, the movie would have to be one of these nobodies,
right?
Going for 50 in a game, just catching fire, or doing the whole Jeremy Lin thing where it's suddenly Linsanity 2.0, and that would be a story for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. Anyway, it ended up being a fun game. You never know. It got somewhat competitive. Magic, of course, won. All these guys that nobody knew who they were. The Hawks, by the way, were missing a bunch of guys too. Their roster was not. There was guys on their team that I was like, who's do you know Mays?
Skylar Mays.
That's right.
I didn't include them in my tweet of the night, and because I knew the guys. I knew the first round draft picks that they were finally playing, who had played with the College Park Skyhawks. I didn't
know Admiral Schofield. He played 33 games.
I did not know Admiral Schofield. The man's name is Admiral Schofield. No, sir.
Oh goodness.
I remember it just because of that, because of his name, but I couldn't tell you a single thing from his career that actually happened. But,
the only Schofield I know is Dick Schofield.
How do I know that?
Oh, I used to turn the DP.
I was I know that name.
Middle infielder. Played with the Angels.
What's
played
the
with
rule?
the Blue Jays.
If your last name's Schofield, you have to have an awesome first name. Dick and Admiral.
It's unfortunate that he turned the DP and his name was Dick, but that's just what?
Pick'em results. No, there are no pick'em results, actually. Excuse me, because we were going to do a game and then it got postponed.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls-Raptors game.
Absolutely.
So let's just set the scene here for everybody. In the month of December, you don't want to be last because you have to pay it off. I owe 3 of them. It could be a 4th because I'm in the running here to lose this one too. But you and I are tied with a 6-9 record.
Nice. I feel bad
Leigh,
about that joke
8-7.
I just made, so I didn't want to
Trace
add
12-3. So this is big. Now, like I said, we have a couple shows next week. It will still be December, so we'll be picking games still. So there's some wiggle room here.
3 nights
remaining. But I would say this is a very important game between you and I. So what is our game?
And the schedule is absolutely stacked tonight. There's a ton of games on. Yes. Here before Christmas Eve. I believe 11 of the 12 games still happening. Only one game postponed as of right now, as we're talking right now. And a big one, the Spurs visiting the Los Angeles Lakers. The spread only 1.5 for the Lakers. That's how poorly the Lakers have been playing. You'd think that they'd be a bigger home favorite. But you believe that they bounce back after their last loss against the Phoenix Suns?
Believe is a strong word.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was literally going to go for whatever you picked. I'm taking the opposite because it's. I think maybe the Lakers are looking forward to Christmas Day. They're still playing on Christmas Day.
They are.
Yeah.
Right now.
Maybe this will be a trap game against the Spurs. So Leigh and myself are taking the Spurs. You and Trey are taking the Los Angeles
I like
Lakers.
that Trey's taking the Lakers.
He's
this
hot.
guy's on fire. Okay.
Why do you think the Spurs? You're the Spurs, man. Leigh, why do you think the Spurs are taking care of business tonight?
Honestly, when it's a 1.5 line, it's a bit of a coin flip. The Spurs have just been playing really good basketball, much better basketball over these last few weeks. And the Lakers, it really is a hit and miss as to what team you're going to get from them to show up. But as long as LeBron's healthy, the Lakers, they're always a chance, of course. But just like the way the Spurs have quietly been going about their business.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's wrap up this Drop podcast. Let's wrap up this week. Let's send JD on vacation in his new shoes with a little rapid fire fun. Leigh, you've got the cues this week.
Yes, I do. And with so many players becoming unavailable due to health and safety protocols, the Boston Celtics, as you mentioned there, Skeets, he signed the Armadillo Cowboy. Yes, I saw Joe back on a 10-day. The 40-year-old last played in 2018. So what's something that you think it is time to bring back, Skeets?
Well, I have two answers. The first obvious answer, Elf. Elf's got to come back. I'm telling you. How is it not back? I honestly think it's a fair question. We bring back every show and movie ever made. When's Elf getting the reboot? Okay. Also, this is a really weird one. I started thinking recently about the video game Cool Spot for the Sega Genesis.
What?
Yeah.
I don't
know
that
game. They made a
game.
video game out of the mascot for 7-Up.
Oh, wow.
And I rented this game as a kid, and I remember beating it. And I was like, okay, I just beat Cool Spot. You would think it would be a garbage game, but it actually was not that bad. A little platform game. So, I don't know. Bring back Cool Spot. Bring back the Sega Genesis. So, those are my weird answers.
Okay. JD.
Yeah, I was totally unprepared for this question. So I texted my brother with all of the questions, and he said key parties. So it's not my answer. My brother would like to bring back key party. The key party is where you go to a party and, you put your car keys in a bowl, and then you pick out car keys and you go home with, the other person's partner. And he would like to bring that back.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Wow.
So thank you, Ryan, for that
Right.
answer, and I apologize for not having my own answer for that. But
I thought they got to take home the other person's car, but
Yeah. That's what I thought.
more than that.
yeah, no.
Never heard of such a thing.
You've never heard of
Never
that?
heard
Tess?
of Keeper?
Yeah, I guess I have, but I had forgotten about them.
Being coy.
I'm a
This guy
coy
hosts them.
man.
All right, Tassie, what do you think it is time to bring back?
Well, I want to bring back, after all this Croc talk recently, LeBron wearing these special limited edition Crocs. Get out of here. What you need to bring back are these and one slippers, these
my
babies.
God.
Now they have seen better days. The yellow here, don't mind the yellow. Just look at the beautiful woven fabric here as I show them here on YouTube. These were Crocs before Crocs. I mean, these are legendary. They were actually retail price $150 Canadian back in the day. I waited till they went on sale, but these are called and one select slippers. So and one, they're slides before slides type thing. Go to your basketball game, wear these, and then ball out. Yeah, they're ugly right now, but the blue woven one, when they were brand new, bring them back. Just as comfortable as Crocs and like 10% less ugly, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely less ugly than the Crocs.
Thank
for
you.
Sure, yeah. Okay, I just never have ever thought Crocs would look cool
They don't.
under any circumstance.
They don't.
Ever.
They're already in that state. They've been around, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it is, and they're already in that like ugly era mode. Like, oh, they're cool now because they're ugly. They've always been
Yeah.
ugly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What a run Crocs have had.
It's
Honestly.
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yes.
The Classic Factory officially opened this week, although it was only Skeets and Tass and JD there in attendance. The space is looking sexy, guys, but could still use a piece of two of memorabilia. So what classic TBJ/starters/free agents/no dunks item do you think still needs to be added, Skeets?
The obvious answer is the starters flag that we got signed by all of the players that came on our show. But the issue with that, the thing is gigantic.
Yes.
So, I mean, we'd have to drape
too
it
big.
somewhere. It's too big.
And it's not that attractive.
Yeah, you're right. It's cool that it's signed by a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, the size of it is the issue. So I'm going something much smaller. Really, in fact, something digital. I think what we need to get, and it's from Infinite Objects. You guys know I'm in the Top Shot game with my guy, TK, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the wedgie moment before. It's on the platform. Anthony Simons. Chase down block and it sticks as a wedgie.
Right.
Well, what you can do with your NFTs and especially your Top Shot moments is you can get this basically digital print, if you want to call it that, or this like ever looping display of the moment. So I think we need to have that here on set
That's
of
a good
the
idea.
wedgie moment. And it's just like either hung up on the wall, maybe it's on the desk, maybe we'll get a bookshelf in here and it's just forever
It's amazing.
dropping a wedgie. So
Pretty cool.
It's like when you have family photos and you put them in those digital displays. It's the same thing, but it's a basketball play.
So there we go. We're going to get an Anthony Simons wedgie moment just on constant repeat. On loop.
Yeah.
Like we used to have screw down cases for cards.
Yeah.
Like physical sports cards, but now you got a digi.
Cool. The future, man.
It is, man.
Yep.
JD, what needs to be added to the set there?
I need an assistant.
Yeah.
I need you in this set actually, but we did a back in 2015 we did a bit. It's one of my favorite bits that we did as the starters, and it was remember somebody threw a pickle onto the floor of a game, and it was just like the game had to stop. And it was really one of those weird NBA moments. And of course, we glommed onto it and we staged a protest where our sound man, Danny Boy, dressed him in a pickle costume and he invaded our set. And I have a little clip for it. So here it is. Stand by. Here it comes.
That you'd write your Christmas card in. It's just a really, really nice font.
Some of them are better than regular jerseys.
I agree with that.
Like the Pelicans, the Thunder, the Cavs, they can maybe switch.
Free the pickle! Free the pickle!
What's going on?
Free the pickle! Free the pickle! Free the pickle! Free the pickle!
All right. Sorry about the pickle.
Come on, man.
What's the deal now, Pickle?
Sorry about the pickle delay. Let's just take a break.
Free the pickle!
We'll get this cleaned up.
I want that pickle costume. I
You
don't
want
know.
Danny in it 24/7.
Oh God! If Danny was standing next to me here, this would make this whole thing so much easier. But I don't know what happened to that pickle costume, and it was just like I remember coming up with the idea: we're gonna have somebody in a pickle outfit. We just gave it to Scenic, and this was. Sometimes they came back with we weren't sure, like tiny little NBA teams in balloons, but that time they nailed it. It was just out of foam core, a printed pickle with a head cut out, and it was goddamn perfect. And I wish we still had the costume. And maybe not Danny, but put his face in it, and then just sort of put it up. But I don't know. I feel like we lost it. So.
No, I think it might.
I don't remember seeing it ever.
I thought it was in the cage.
It was in the cage, but I think, you know what? Danny might have went down and grabbed it. You know what I mean?
Like he's a pickle plucker.
Just because he knew we were leaving, and it was like, well, this is my legacy here. This is my.
We'll get Kaplan on the case.
Yeah,
Kaplan hit me
I
up
would
yesterday.
be looking at you as the number one suspect in a pickle thievery. You love pickles.
Damn right.
I've given you.
I'd love to.
How many pickles have I given you over
over the years?
over
yeah.
the years?
So you get a sandwich.
Yep.
Discard the pickle.
I know
say,
Tass is
I'll go
always
in the
gonna have
trash.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll be the George Costanza and go in. How many pickles have I pecked? Yeah, for sure.
I had mini pickles here for lunch yesterday, Tassie. It must be a big Canadian thing. They came out, like we had all
Definitely
the
not
sort
a
of,
Canadian.
No, it felt like it because I was like, I'm back in Canada. I'm getting pickles for lunch. They were great.
How did they come out? It sounded like they were coming out there marching together, the little pickles.
No, we had like a big sort of whole table set up there with all sorts of different foods, and there was just a little bowl there with pickles in them. I'm like, all right, let's get into the pickles. I had about probably 4, only little ones. I think they're a bit more friendlier to consume than just one big lump of a pickle, because you can sort of snack on the little ones.
Listen to this guy talk about pickles. You just use the weirdest adjectives sometimes in telling a story.
No, because a big pickle is more intimidating.
Lump of a
pickle. If I
pickle,
bite this pickle, I've got to get through the whole thing. Whereas a little one's like, you can all right, if I bite it and it's not that good, you can just finish it off rather than, well, you can discard it, of course, but it's better if you just have one. So I've tried it. I've had one.
Wait, you love pickles so much. If he were to take a big bite out of a lump of a pickle and then not want the rest of it, would you eat it?
I'd be happy to share a lump with Leigh Ellis, no doubt.
Lady in the Tramp style, we can do it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the next pick and payoff. If we have a tie,
yeah.
2 men have to eat a pickle.
That could be a nice pickle payoff there. You just have to eat pickles for the whole show. There you go.
Pickle payoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Baby cornichons. No, make it a big lump.
I like
please.
relish pickles. Those sweet relish pickles. Those are good.
I love all pickles. What about those ones at Ted's? Those sliced ones? They come in a bowl of pickles.
Yeah. They're
the
I know the one you're talking about.
Those are good.
It's right up the road from your house, Leigh.
Well, not anymore. It went out of business. So
really,
there's one up there. Yeah.
Ran out of pickles. Supply chain.
Yeah, they're selling Christmas trees up there these days. Where are we here? Where are we? All right,
Tass has to answer it.
Yeah. What pickle item needs to be added to the studio there?
Well, it's funny JD picked the pickle man because I also am not picking an object. I am picking a man. I'm picking a person who I'd like to add to the set, and it is the talented Sir Foster, the man who plays the organ down at the Hawks Arena. We had him for one show in the starter studio a long time ago. It was actually for a pick and payoff where as soon as Skeets was talking, I believe, he would start playing music. Yeah, and you had
sounds familiar.
And as you spoke, every single time you spoke, Sir Foster would play another hit. Yeah. And so, yes, I would just like Sir Foster, the talented musician. Get down there. He plays the horn. He plays the saxophone. He does the keyboards as well. I mean, it just feels right. If he was here, it would feel right in this garage space for him to be on the keys, playing some hits. So Sir Foster's my pick.
The Magic Hawks game, the rosters were so depleted. Not even Sir Foster was on the keys last night.
Wow.
He was a replacement guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because our seats were like right by where he plays in the lower bowl there, and yeah, it wasn't even him. I was all excited to say hello and
getting everybody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have no. Look, hey, don't quote me on that. I don't know if he's in health and safety protocols as well. But there was no Sir Foster last night. Unfortunately. Yeah. All right, Leigh, final one.
Yeah, let's wrap this up because I've got a reverse Sir Foster need right now.
What is that?
The NBA has told teams to be prepared.
Okay, hold on. I thought it meant you had to take a dump, but
no,
you just have to take
a post-show Sir Foster. Okay, the NBA has told teams
because that makes more sense.
Because anybody knows what that means other than us.
Sorry, go ahead.
The NBA has told teams to be prepared to be flexible with their Christmas Day game.
Yep.
So what is your Christmas Day plan and how locked in is it? Skeets.
I would say it's pretty locked in. It's very simple. French toast for breakfast. Nora has locked that in. We'll do some gift giving, mainly just to give some funny little gifts to Luna, see how she reacts to them. And then the one other requirement is we have to play the entire Boney M Christmas album.
Yeah.
Front to back. That has to happen.
Sure.
And then very likely hanging out with some friends here in the city. We're obviously not traveling anywhere. So maybe even you.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even Tass Mellis.
Fantastic.
Pickles will be had.
No doubt
Yeah.
about it.
So very simple. And that's not an exciting answer. I'll probably go for, you know what? We'll probably go for a walk, maybe even a run, because the weather's looking real nice. It's not going to be minus 30 here, Leigh. It's going to be like plus 20, plus 22, they're saying.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
JD.
Yeah, I'm heading to Canada. Haven't had a day off in months, really. So I'm going to be sleeping, eating, and I've been told I'm my job for the day. I'm going to be at my brother's, and it's going to be waste management consultant. So I think I'm in charge of the trash, which is perfect. The perfect job for me to do on Christmas Day because it's simple. I don't have to talk to anybody. I just gather things up, properly separate all of the recyclables and the greens and the browns and whatnot.
Mhm.
And and then I actually may watch a basketball game.
Wow.
Just, for a nap time, on the couch, hang out. But yeah, that's pretty much locked in if I can get across the border,
Wow.
that is.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
I don't have to talk anyone. The true spirit of Christmas joy right there.
Also, your brother has told you in advance that you will be cleaning up the garbage and recycling it.
Well, yes, I as I said, I sent him all the questions. So he said, "Yeah, you're in charge of garbage."
Well, keep your
trash
eye on the
man.
car keys while you're doing the garbage out back there, JD, by the way. Too.
I hope you're not going to a keys party with your brother.
Oh, yeah, that would be very weird.
Yeah.
That would be strange.
Tassie, bring us home.
Well, I guess I'll be the WMC at my house as well as the waste management consultant. I'll be doing that. But I think my one job will be to wear this sweater. I mean, that's my plan. I'm just wearing the sweater, and then this Christmas sweater I'm wearing, I love the feel of it. And then I'm just going with the flow. Yeah, presents, outdoorsy, put the phone away, and then just feeling it out. Not a whole lot of planning. So I don't really have a good answer for this. I'm looking forward to a non-plan, really.
You're getting some use out of that sweater, though. You're already in an Instagram photo wearing it, or you not?
Yep, second
Okay.
time I've worn it.
Second time?
Got to
So you're
wash in
wearing it-
between because it was by the fire.
Oh.
My nose is getting a little more sensitive to fires these days.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
Really?
I don't like the smell of a campfire as much anymore.
like the smell of the smoke on you afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
It's bugging me.
Oh, and it gets in the beard. It gets in everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's in your hair and
And then you shower, you shampoo,
Yeah,
and it's still on you.
it's true.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
really weird.
go away.
Some people love it though.
Don't.
I used to. I used to love the smell of gasoline.
Still love that.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
That's weird. You
Going into the car, not coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like not burning gas, but yeah, I love to
going
give
into
my finger a little sniff after I pump the gas.
Oh my
you know?
god.
Yeah, I
That
used to
little
like
high,
that.
eh?
I used to like that for sure.
I had never thought about this, JD, but you just reminded me with the whole campfire thing. We had Luna over at Grisham's, my buddy Grish, our buddy Grish,
Everyone's
your
buddy.
buddy Grish at this point. He had the fire going during the day, like, it was like 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And my dog, Luna's there, didn't even think anything of it. And this guy, Grisham, like, that guy's a pyro. So it's like he's burning everything and smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we get home, it's like, oh, we stink. Nora and I stink of the campfire. And then the dog
The
stinks.
dog, yeah. She's got long hair too.
Yeah. So,
How many shampoos was that?
still doing it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to get out.
Crazy stuff. All right. Great questions there, Leigh, in Rapid Fire. That is the Drop Podcast, our final show of the week. Final show from the Classic Factory for a little bit, too. We
Yes.
will be back on Monday with a new No Dunks podcast. And then on Thursday, the only 2 shows next week. But JD's gone, so Andrew Schlecht is going to be filling in for JD.
Yep.
But we won't be here. We'll be back on the StreamYards, back on the Zooms, just looking at our cameras, not, engaging one-on-one. But in the new year, JD's back, Leigh's back, TK's back, and the plan is to all be here in the new Classic Factory, which, JD, a lot of people are digging.
Great.
The look, the sound, the vibe.
Awesome.
So that's good. And
That's
we're
good.
still working on it. Some, we got a new desk coming and all that. But
Yeah.
Can't wait for 2022.
January 3rd. As long as JD gets back,
Yeah.
we'll
I'll
be back as well.
I'll
Okay.
be back.
Good. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at No Dunks Inc. That's INC. We'll be tweeting, I'm sure, throughout the holidays. Grab yourself an athletic subscription. Nice deal on right now, 50% off. You can get that for somebody else. Go to theathletic.com/no dunks so they know that we sent you. And again, we will be back on Monday I know you and I are going to be on. Who else? Is TK joining us? Leigh, are you joining us on Monday? I can't keep track anymore.
No, not Monday.
Okay.
No, I think they'll be taking the week off in Calgary. But
Oh,
we'll see.
wow.
We'll see. Unless there's some breaking news, unless there's a big trade, big scoop, something happening.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. I like that you're ready for the... Can't jump on the normal shows,
No.
but hey, it's something...
if it's worth my
important.
while, I
That's
might,
it. Hey, enjoy
I
it.
might
Bye.
detain you with my presence.
But actually, just before we go, Tassie, I'm
Yes.
going to be at the Saddle Dome. Well, I'm supposed to be at the Saddle Dome on Monday night. Big
Oh,
Flames Oilers tilt.
Wow.
I thought the hockey
That's a
games
great
were...
one.
I thought they were canceled until
They've
until
been
Christmas.
postponed
Yeah.
until I think
Postponed.
Christmas Day. This
Yeah.
one's scheduled for the 27th. So
Wow.
maybe the Flames and Oilers. Wow, Carter McDavid, man, he's hot right now.
Stop
God,
saying
please
that.
What's worse, your Canadian accent or my Australian accent?
That'd be a good pick and payoff. You have to speak in each other's accents.
Wow.
Be great for us, terrible for the audience.
Yeah.
so.
that's brutal.
Lee, you are
I just
going.
say,
You go ahead. Go ahead, Lee.
who's the netminder these days for the Flames? You know,
Oh,
Tassie?
I forget.
Mike Vernon.
Mika Kippersoft. No, I forget who's man in the nets.
Andy Moog in net
listen.
for the Oilers.
I just hope he stands on his head, whoever he is, and we got a classic 43 save effort from the guy. Hey, you should have seen.
Oh, come on! Are you bad mouthing the game of hockey right now?
No.
Where are you
I'm
going?
saying That's what happens. Isn't it? Have 43 saves? It's like he stood on his head. The guy,
Yeah, 42. You didn't stand on his head. Listen, you are going to an incredible rivalry. You are
I know.
watching the Oilers and the Flames.
I know.
You're going to be writing an article on the Athletic, just like you did when you
Yeah.
went and watched the soccer.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna write it all with it, and then he'll find out he's doing it in an interview.
I saw the Canadians goaltender the other day. You should have seen the save he made. He did the old backhander like that, like the puck missed him, and he whacked it with his hand
Yeah.
and saved it. Oh man,
That's a
that was
great game.
great goal. So listen, I just
Patrick
hope the Ginlers
Waugh,
out
was that
there.
who it was? Who was
Yeah,
it?
a Ginler, Gretzky, maybe those guys will be there and for this big one at the Saddle Dome.
You could have gone. You should go to the Hockey Hall of Fame there in Toronto. Ginla was just inducted.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he deserves it too. Great man.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a way to wrap up a drop podcast. All right, Leigh, well, you take the week off unless Ben Simmons gets traded. Enjoy the hockey game if it happens.
I'll say the deal for the Athletic, it starts on Christmas Day. If you're looking right now, it'll happen. If you look on the 25th, 26th,
Okay.
50% off. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Shout out to all the stream teamers. Shout out to the Pod Squad, the Discord Horde. We love all of you. Stay safe during the holiday season. And again, we'll be back on Monday, the 27th, with a fun little podcast for you all. Till then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you enjoy the holidays as much as No Dunks enjoys our lumps of pickles.
Embrace the holidays, people.